you're here, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed yet, please press the big red button and the bell next to it so you can get notifications when I post a new video. The last video I posted was an update video of my 10-day writing challenge. I spoke about the different issues that came up, the different challenges that I had. If you haven't seen the video, a link is going to come up somewhere up here. In this video, I'm just giving a sort of like update on reading the draft of my thesis. Mind you, most of what is in this thesis I've been writing over a couple of years, and I definitely noticed that my writing has, I would like to say, evolved, and my writing style is different. So reading some of the stuff I wrote a couple of years ago, for example, in my literature review, and then looking at it now, there are moments where I, first of all, cringe, and then secondly, it's very interesting for me to see where my ideas were on my research topic and how the literature review that I did is you see the influences in there of these different ideas towards what argument I leaned mostly to, what I thought was relevant to my work and to my argument at the time. So now reading it all over post doing data collection and data analysis is very interesting for me, because there's some things looking back at them and I'm definitely sure, okay, this isn't really relevant anymore, or it's a weak argument, it doesn't really work with the data that I have, and I'm not necessarily having to do more of a literature review. I'm relieved about that, but I'm definitely having to cut out certain parts or certain arguments that I have in the thesis, because one, either they are not very clear, or they're repetitive, or yeah, they just the data has revealed that the argument isn't so relevant. I'm not as attached, or as I thought I would be, to some of the content in the literature review, you know, because you spend so much time painstakingly writing it, putting it all together, you know, I like to say, I like to think I have a sort of relationship with the words that I put on paper, and so cutting them out, it's not a very easy, it's not a very straightforward process, you know, to come to the decision to say, well, this paragraph maybe doesn't work anymore, so delete. I'm working with a hard copy of my thesis, and I was worried about the word count. I thought, oh man, I have way too many words, but with this editing that I'm doing, reading, reviewing, words are being cut out. I found, like I said, I mentioned before, there are certain things I kept repeating, sort of because, you know, they were the chapters were written in phases. When I was working on chapter 1, I did that, made the argument, so I sort of like started to make, okay, this thesis is about, or this chapter is about XYZ, and this is relevant because, so there's a lot that repeats, maybe because you know, when you write not only for yourself to read but for someone else to read, you want to give them you want to lay a foundation, you want to tell them a story, you want to tell them where the argument is coming from. And then also there's consistency in terms, or the use of abbreviations, for example, that needs to be consistent. Anyway, so that's just a little general overview. Some specific detail that I can give. Okay, my thesis is currently at 97,000 words. I mean, I never thought I would get there. You know, I mean, I'm over my word limit. I'm supposed to have 80,000 words for this thesis, and I've been writing and putting different chapters away and saying, okay, this is done, moving on to the next. And it was definitely a surprise that I had so many words, and I haven't yet looked at my results chapters yet again. But I think there's also definitely cause for the word count to be high because of my data chapters. I have lots of quotes that I'm using in the data chapters, and some quotes are really, really big. Like, just get what's really, really relevant. Or yeah, and that's probably going to take me a while. But anyways, I just thought I could just give a quick update, reading through work that you've been writing over the years, sort of like at the end bit, and you know, you see sort of like the bigger picture. Yeah, I can see how very naively I put across certain ideas, how sort of limited my academic writing language was, and I've seen how the most recent chapters are definitely very different from, let's say, the chapter that I wrote for my literature review a couple of years ago, and then trying to concretely put together my arguments in the results chapters. There's definitely an evolution or a change. I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly the right expression, but it's one thing that's definitely difficult is getting words cut from the thesis. You know, I really wonder, what do other people do when they have this moment where they have to get rid of words or work that you wrote, or you know, or you see a quote and you ask yourself, why is this quote here? It doesn't really work, it's not really making sense. And another thing also, I have had to sort of like either put restructure chapters, and that was a bit scary. But you know, I've read everything, and the new structure and the new outline, I'm hoping that it works. I'm hoping that it makes sense. But then again, it's my work, and you know, I feel I understand it. It's just getting someone else to read it and confirm that they understand what's going on, which is something that I intend to do after all of this reading and re-editing. I intend to give the thesis to someone else to proofread, because there might be things, there are things I'm sure I'm not spotting, I'm not seeing the whether or not things are making sense, or they, you know, the order that I put them in is helpful to my future readers, which are my supervisor, my internal examiner, and my external examiner. I do not imagine more people will want to read my work. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm really excited. I was very worried that I wouldn't have any work at some point to call almost complete thesis. So looking at what I have, I just have to finish reading through, edit what I've got, and then sort out conclusions. It feels good to say that, because for a while there I thought, oh my god, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. So that's that about the thesis reading. There's a hard copy that I've been reading, and I'm continuing to read. But anyways, that's that for now. The next update video will be up, I guess, in 2 weeks again. I can't do weekly videos. Thesis responsibilities, parenting responsibilities. Yeah, I just don't have time. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you've stayed this long and you've heard me ramble on about my thesis and how it's going, and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? Come on, subscribe, please subscribe. And yeah, share the video, comment. I really would like to hear your perspective on your work and where you are with your thesis. And yeah, Bye, till the next one.